check this out. I really want to show you in person, not one, but two infantry squad vehicle, ISVs, troop carriers. And here's one. This one is configured to carry not 5 people, but 9. And these are built by GM Defense, General Motors Defense. And these vehicles are based on a Chevy Colorado midsize truck chassis, but they're reconfigured to be basically kind of a skeleton of an off-roader, but still very capable, quite lightweight when you compare this to everything else that U.S. military and the U.S. Army uses. And also provide capability to carry troops and also their equipment. I was actually talking to some of the people here from the U.S. Army, some of the soldiers, and I said, oh, it's really roomy. Look at this. There's no door, you can jump in and out. And they were telling me that even though the space is huge here and the space is okay here, they're wearing a lot of equipment, right? They have their gear, their backpacks maybe, their ammunition, their guns. So even though this looks like a tremendous amount of space, and you could flip up the seat up and down, and you can enter here in the rear, even though it looks like there's a lot of space, it could still be very tight. But you could carry 9 people, 9 troops in a vehicle like this, or carry 5 people in a vehicle like this. So this is basically the same vehicle, just configured with a bed instead of being configured with this passenger carrying compartment. By the way, there's hooks here all the way around the vehicle, here in the middle, in the back, in the front. You could airlift them, obviously. You can move them around, tie them down. So transport them anywhere, drop them off, and off you go. So let's talk about what's underneath this, because General Motors Defense is kind of a separate company, but they have access to a lot of technology and components that General Motors actually has. So underneath the hood, because military is really into diesel, because many of their heavy vehicles use diesel, their new tanks will be diesel electric hybrids. So having the same type of fuel is very important to them, instead of inventing new fuels and new ways of powering vehicles, like hydrogen maybe even. So this is a 2.8 liter turbo diesel Duramax engine, which existed in the previous generation of the Chevy Colorado. It's got an 8-speed automatic transmission, 8L90. It has ZR2, Chevy Colorado ZR2 axles. And of course, to mount these tires, these are 35s. Right here on the side of it, low range C. You can kind of see that right there. And on this is shown BF Goodrich TA KM3, so KM3 type tire. And of course, a military, really beefy looking wheel. But because they're using ZR2 axles, they have front and rear locking differentials. So really a lot of off-road capability, because really good ground clearance. They also asked me not to show underneath the vehicle. That's quite important. So I'm kind of showing you around, but I have to stay within the rules and confines of what I'm allowed to do. If you notice, the steering wheel and the shifter might be familiar to you from the previous generation of the Chevy Colorado, but there are no gauges. And there's a couple of reasons for this. There's kind of a box on top of the gauge cluster. It's because just information security. Like they have different inclinometer, obviously speedometer, and many different gauges available to the driver, but we don't want to show all of that information here at a public auto show like this. Obviously, the roll cage is very, very sturdy. It does have roll protection kind of built into it, and you might be able to mount other elements, like you can kind of see here and here in the floor as well. So everything is, let's see, 4-point harnesses for everybody. I mean, this is really a beefy off-roader. And it's not probably very heavy because it doesn't have a body. It doesn't have a full cab. It doesn't have a lot of glass. It doesn't need that. And it does have the DSSV shocks. Of course, I don't want to show you specifically underneath because I was asked not to. Let's take a look at this pickup truck a little bit more. I want to see that bed. that they have on this truck. But I was looking under there, and they have protection for the shocks. So even though the shocks kind of hang down a little bit below the axle, they have little rock sliders on them. So they're thinking about a lot of different elements. You can see the military style lights on the back of this bed as well. There's tow points. There's a 2-inch receiver on the side. There's connections for other equipment, and also the trailer wiring connection here, and the bed. I obviously don't want to open it right now. But yeah, this is a pretty sweet truck. I wonder in the future if they will, if these will be surplus trucks that we'll be able to buy as civilians. That's probably a question for the future. But I don't think it has a lot of proprietary military technology inside of this vehicle, because it's basically a Chevrolet or a GMC underneath it. So that might be kind of fun in the future. And look at this, the side mirrors and the windscreen. It looks like something from like a Polaris or a side-by-side. It has different branding, but it's kind of the type of technology, you know, components. Pretty inexpensive, very lightweight, and just enough protection and visibility to where you could just take it anywhere. And it's got mud flaps. I love this. Look at the size of this mud flap to protect the rocks and other mud just flinging into the troops and soldiers and bystanders. You can kind of cover that up. Very minimalistic and I think smart design. I really want to hear what you guys think about these vehicles. So you might be wondering about, oh look, there might be a space for a winch, or maybe not. Maybe this is just kind of a cooling air inlet, but the radiator, I think the radiator stacks are behind here. The power levels, they're probably not stuck. So there's different requirements for fuel. You can kind of see a little bit of information here too. 2.8 liter turbo diesel. But this turbo diesel has to run on different quality diesel fuels, because if this vehicle is deployed across the world, it may have different fuel qualities or military fuels. There's a specific engine configuration that can run of those more crude versions of that diesel. And also, it may make a little bit more horsepower and torque than a factory engine would, because it doesn't necessarily has all of the exhaust systems and all of the same emission systems that you and I are used to on our turbo diesels. So the horsepower level on these may be a little bit higher. I've heard rumors of about 300 horsepower, but I haven't confirmed it. Obviously, you don't want to give out all the specifications for everybody. But yeah, it's 8-speed automatic, so it has a lot of gears to choose from. 2-speed transfer case. It's got low range. It's got twin locking differentials. Yeah, it says it right there pretty clearly. A Chevy Colorado ZR2 platform, using all of the kind of reinforced components from the production vehicles, by the way, which are desert racing tested, because you and I have been on many different videos together, specifically when Cole and I took a new Chevy Colorado ZR2 from Vegas to Reno off-road with a Chevrolet off-road racing team. We drove over 3 days and about 300 miles off-road. So the components on this military vehicle are tested and proven and configured to be very, very tough. So I just wanted to show you this from the 2026 Detroit Auto Show. Come back to oldtfl.com, because Ian and I, we have several videos and stories from this show, including what's happening here at AEV, American Expedition Vehicles, and their brand new Ford. We have the Ford FXL deep dive with the CEO, Dave Harrington, and we've done many other videos throughout this show. So please come back to oldtfl.com or tfltruck.com to learn about all those stories that we've done. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.